I'm going to show you how to find church records that are scanned and viewable online at the Maryland State Archives web address. First, go to the Maryland State Archives homepage, and then on the left-hand side, you'll see what we have hyperlinked. Click on that, and then you'll see under Special Collections Catalog another hyperlink that says Religious Records, and click on that, and then that pulls up a page that's the Guide to Special Collections. And on this screen you'll see you have three choices that you have to make. You can either search by title, by denomination, or by county. So if you know where your ancestor lived and where you want to search, you could go by county, or if you know they were a Catholic or a Lutheran or whatever, you can search by denomination. And if you do know the name of the church that you're actually looking for, you can search by title. So I know the name of the church I want, and I'm going to go to S for St. Anne's. Click on that. And I already know which page number it's on because I've looked before. It's page 16 is the one I want. And then that pulls up the various churches in the state that are named St. Anne's. And as you can see, there's multiple churches named St. Anne's. Various locations had their own. And the archives has a two-letter code beside each of the locations that shows which county they're referring to. GA, this one is in Garrett County. WA, Washington County. AA is Annapolis, Anne Arundel County rather. And then the one I'm looking for is Baltimore City. And I do know it's a Roman Catholic church, so this is the one that I want. And under this record you can see there's two hyperlinks. The first one says WPA Historical Records Survey Data File. This is just a record that is for the archives. You are not going to find anything online under that hyperlink. What you want to look for is MSA collection and a hyperlink under that, and here is one. Not all of the churches have that. As you can see, this doesn't have any hyperlinks to it at all. Okay, so the one I want is this one, record number 2672, and I'm going to click on that. Okay, and then this pulls up the information that the archives has on that. And you can see it does have some baptism records, and it was on Greenmount Avenue, which is, again, that's the one that I want. Talks briefly about the history of the church. And then to find my record, I am going to go down to the bottom of that page, and there's another hyperlink, and it says Microfilm Series, and that is what I want. I'm going to click on that, and then that brings up 5 records that the archives has, and you can see there's baptism records, First Communion records, and then on this one there's a hyperlink, and that is the one that I'm going to want to look at because the other ones are not available. You can see there's no hyperlink on any of the other ones. And this record has marriage registers, it has an index for that, and it has interments indexed and a death register indexed, and it also gives you the years. If there was a baptism record here that had closer than 100 years, you would probably not be able to access that. Anything that's less than 100 years old are generally restricted and unviewable, especially online. So I'm going to click on this, and then you can see over in the left hand side that it is loading. These records are pretty large. They take a while to load, and while that's loading, I'll just say that these records also sometimes have server errors. I don't know if it's just because they're so large, but sometimes they'll have a server error and the screen will just come up all black and smudged looking. If that happens, just page back to the previous page and then click on the hyperlink again and give it another chance to load. If you can't find any records that have an MSA hyperlink, then you're not going to be able to look at them online. Most of the records, unfortunately, don't have that. And I would also say that this particular record, has several different types of records on here and different indexes. So while you're searching for these, and when you find what you want, you might want to make a recording rather, of the page number, not the page number, the record number that it is, because many of these indexes start at page 1, and if you find 2 different records, one in the interments and one in the marriages, and they both happen to start on page 1, then you may have a hard time locating that record in the future. So you want to make some sort of a notation of the record number, not just the page number. And I do that a lot of times by, I will take a screenshot of the page that I'm looking at, or I'll use my camera, and that way I'll have a good record and I'll be able to find it again. And so this is 2015. The websites do tend to change. The archives does go back into here and change the links occasionally, but for now it's working. And I hope this has been helpful, and good luck searching.